For what value of x, the two vectors, alpha vector and beta vector, are collinear, where a vector and b vector are non-collinear vectors. Okay, let us begin. First, we're going to use a fact here that since alpha vector and beta vector are collinear, that means there is going to be a relationship that exists between alpha and beta. In other words, we can say we can express alpha in terms of beta vector. So here we can relate alpha and beta as alpha vector equals to the scalar lambda multiplied to beta vector. Fine. Now what we'll do? We'll substitute the value of alpha vector with its value. So we have 2x plus 1 multiplied to a vector minus b vector. So that's alpha vector. This will be equals to lambda times beta vector. So we have lambda multiplied to x minus 2 to get lambda x minus 2 lambda. That will be multiplied with vector a added to lambda times b vector. Now we'll transpose the two terms on the right hand side to the left hand side and combine all the like terms. Now that's going to give us 2x plus 1 minus lambda times x plus 2 times lambda. That will be multiplied with the vector a. Then we have negative 1 plus lambda times b vector. That will be equals to 0 vector. We have to be careful here. It is going to be a null vector because on the left hand side we are operating on vectors. So on the right hand side we should get a vector as well. Now this is an equation. This is an equation where we have some scalar multiplied to a vector minus another scalar multiplied to b vector equals to non-zero vector. And now it's given here that a and b, these two vectors, are non-collinear vectors. So also we'll write also vector a and vector b are non-collinear vectors. Non-collinear vector. Now that means if vector a and vector b are non-collinear, then it must be true that the coefficient of a vector, which is 2x plus 1 minus lambda times x plus 2 times lambda, this must be equals to 0, and the coefficient of b vector, which is negative of 1 plus lambda, this must be also equals to 0. So when we solve for lambda value, so lambda comes out to be equals to negative 1. So now that we have the value of lambda, we'll substitute back into the first equation to solve for x. So we have 2 times x added to 1. Now negative lambda will become positive. So we have positive x, and then we have 2 times lambda. So that becomes negative 2 equals to 0. So solving for x, so x comes out to be equals to 1/3. So that means the value of x is going to be 1/3 such that the two vectors alpha vector and beta vector are collinear, provided a vector and b vector are non-collinear vectors.